down the street in Washington, D.C. It's extremely cold, so he's walking down, decides to go down to the subway, looks around in the subway, and thinks about where's the best place to stand, where the most traffic will be. And so what he does is he stands against this wall. He says, this is where the most traffic is going to be. He takes his violin, puts down the case, opens the case up. Now what he's doing is he's feeling that this is the best location to be able to have people walk by and put money into the violin case. Now Josh is a street performer. And as a street performer, he's been able to create an opportunity for himself, feeling that this would be the best place to place everything. Now, this is what it looks like. There's Josh. There's a subway. Josh is on the left-hand side. You see his violin case. Now, the first few minutes of being a street performer is one in which a lot of people walk by and don't pay attention to you. And I'm sure many of you have walked by a subway, a metro, a BART station, and seen a street performer playing music. Now what's interesting for Josh is it's not until the 4th minute that someone actually comes by and gives him $1. Now part of him is like, woohoo, I got my $1. And part of him is like, it took 4 minutes to get my $1. And then in the 6th minute, finally someone stops and actually listens. For about less than a minute, they look at their watch and they start walking away. Now, what he found when he was standing there playing his violin, is that a lot of people just walked right by. They were rushing. It was rush hour. It was a tremendous amount of traffic going through. He picked the most popular, packed time to do it. And what he found is that they didn't really notice him. He felt pretty ignored. And what ended up happening was after the 6th minute, he got his first $1, then he got someone to actually listen for less than a minute, and then the 10th minute, he got his biggest fan. A person came up to him and was just staring, like, mouth wide open. He's like playing harder, this is fantastic, I'm loving this. And then the mom starts pushing the 3-year-old away. Because 3-year-old's like loving Josh and what he's saying, and Josh is saying, this is a great fan I have here. And so what happened is for 45 minutes this went on. Now over 1,000 people walked by that morning. Only 7 stopped and listened for less than a minute. Only 20 people gave money. And they only gave $32 total amount. 1,000 people. Guess what Josh was doing 3 days before? He was performing at the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra to a sold-out show where people paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see him play his music. It looks something like this. This amazing musician, who is one of the finest classical musicians in the world, his name is Joshua Bell. And he was there having an opportunity to be able to interact and see what it was like to do this experiment, which he did with the Washington Post. What's the powerful part of this story is it's all about perception. What people saw was a street performer, maybe a homeless person, maybe a bum. Their own interpretation of what they saw. What they missed out on was the music. What they missed out on was the music that was being played and the wonderfulness of who Joshua Bell is. I want to be able to have you each be able to recognize the importance of perception and how you're being perceived in the organization. Even though right in front of you beautiful music can be being played, a lot of people might be missing out on the beautiful music that you're playing.